And everyone is filtering in. Hello, everyone. See everybody coming in over here.
No, there's a lot of people. Wow, it's awesome.
Yeah, we're already up to almost 100.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so we'll give everybody a couple minutes to kind of filter in and get this started off.
If you want to say hello to everyone.
Enjoying that. Loving to see all these people here. This is great. Some familiar names, some familiar faces. Lee, you're looking good today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and me, man. We're gonna have to find some way to get our hair cut.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna let my dog Charlie do it, but I think it might be better just to grow it out.
Great. Yeah, my problem continues to be that my hair is incredibly curly, so now it's starting to do even weirder stuff.
You could just grow it out like you did before, Ben, where you just had the curly locks down to your shoulders.
Yeah, I should do that. For those of you who are showing up, oh, remember the Floby? Yeah, at least we do. For those of you who are just showing up, just want to let everybody know, initially, if you go and chat, we'd love to have you chat with each other and say hi and where you're from, but we'd also want to make sure that everybody can see it. So there's that little drop down that says who you're chatting to, and we want to have you make that all panelists and attendees. So that way you can see each other's chat messages. I see some people are doing that, and then other folks, it defaults to all panelists. I don't know why. It's kind of annoying. We wish it didn't, but it does. So there we are. Zach is screen sharing, but it's not going to show the panelists thing. I wish it would, right? Then you could show people how to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, but sometimes Zoom doesn't like to cooperate.
So yeah, again, all panelists and attendees, when you go into the chat, please do go ahead and change that to all panelists and attendees. What we're going to do today is we're going to start out, we're going to get a little tea going like we did last time. And then we're going to have a little conversation, catch up about what's been going on in the world and what's been going on here in Santa Cruz for us and our team. And then we will, at some point, begin taking questions and do Q&A with Lee. Lee's going to probably lead us in some kind of practice too, if I'm not mistaken, because I know he likes to do that. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. We still have folks trickling in, but that's all right. They'll do that as time permits. So I'm Ben Cox, and I'm the co-founder of Holden Qi Gong. Lee and I started Holden Qi Gong together a few years ago when I kind of parachuted out of the Silicon Valley tech scene as a software architect and engineer and CTO type of person, and realized I needed to do something that my heart was in and that my soul was connected to. And so I didn't do anything for quite a while. And then the opportunity came up to work with Lee after I had been doing all the teacher trainings and week-longs and retreats and Qigong practice every week down at the Qi Center with him. And slowly but surely decided to get things moving in that particular direction. So we are now 5 years into this journey together, which is pretty awesome. And we're enjoying ourselves very much. So I'm seeing a little bit of a snafu here on the tech side. Somebody saying that we are not streaming live on Facebook, which is true. And I don't seem to have the ability to turn that on. So I think that's going to have to be.
That's probably a me thing. Let me see if I can figure that out.
Cool. It's under more. So we're going to get that working and go from there. So seems like quite a turnout. It continues to climb. We're at over 300 people. So Lee.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Ben.
What kind of tea are you drinking today?
Oh, today it is 7572. It's a pu'er tea. It's one of my favorites. And, you know, it's just a wonderful way to start your morning. I did have a nice cup of coffee, or as my grandma used to say, a cuppy. This morning, my girlfriend Hetty made me a monk fruit sweetened collagen chocolate mocha. So that was a good way to start the day. So I got two things going on here because you know what? It's in-house time, so you can drink a lot of delicious, healthy beverages before you do your Qigong, and you'll be just raring to go.
Fantastic. I love monk fruit. That's become my favorite sweetener for sure. And I think when we drink pu'er tea, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, don't drink coffee. Well, I think we both drink coffee on occasion. I just don't drink it every day because ultimately the energy isn't super great for me.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I know. I drink pu'er every day, and then I alternate between green tea, matcha, mate, you know, occasionally coffee, and, you know, it's all good in moderation. So wonderful to have delicious beverages with everybody from around the world. I'm seeing people coming in from all over the world, which is so exciting. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to get here, be together, support each other, find ways to have interesting and unique conversations, you know, whether they're difficult conversations, conversations that shift the paradigm, conversations about our health and healing and the direction that we want to go in, or just have a conversation with a more positive slant where we can, you know, distill life's lessons from challenging times. I think that's extremely important to have those conversations with like-minded people in a group setting that that can spur the conversation on.
Yep. I think also just getting the people together for this type of activity and chatting, but also actually kind of bringing everybody together and doing some shared practice can be pretty great. Really create that energy field, even though we're far away, and we've been seeing that over and over lately. So I'm just about to get this thing live on Facebook. So we're almost done.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, good.
And it looks like we're now live on Facebook.
For everybody just joining us on Facebook, and now that the attendees have sort of leveled off here on the webinar as well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to be back with you again and enjoying some community of like-minded people, as Lee just said, here in this time of like confusion and complexity, as I like to call it. We're both drinking tea, and then Lee is double fisting with the coffee as well. So hopefully everybody out there in Facebook land is also drinking some sort of hot beverage so that you can join us and we can have a moment together of drinking and sharing community. I'm Ben Cox. I'm the co-founder of Holden Qi Gong, and Lee and I have been working together for several years now, and I've been the one building all the technology and building all the business around Lee's amazing work so that we can bring it out to as many people around the world as possible. Very excited to have all these people joining us from around the world. It's a really a great experience for all of us. Just wanted to kind of let folks know in the webinar, if you're going to chat, we'd love to have you chat with each other. Please do go down and change it from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. And now we're going to introduce Lee's Bulldog.
He's going to be leading us through tasty beverages. This is Blue-Eyed Charlie, and yeah, he'll drink just about anything or eat just about anything. Yeah, not very picky at all. He doesn't like celery. That's the only thing.
He doesn't like celery.
No, but he's a fantastic meditator, and I have been known to put him to sleep with hypnosis, meditation, and Qigong.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he's really a Buddha. Hi.
Great. Welcome, Charlie. Glad you're here.
He'll be, if you hear snoring in the background that sounds like a chainsaw, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Just,
that's not your dad on the couch.
no, it's not. It is Charlie.
Great. Well, I'm drinking some very special tea today. In fact, people really seem to enjoy watching the tea process kick off last time. So I'm going to give you guys a little tour of my tea table real quick, and then we'll get into some discussion and stuff. So right now, let's see. There's a better place for that. I got to move these candles. I've got some candles going here. This is my little atmosphere, and there we go. Here we are, tea table. So right now I've got a little Buddha on the tea table. This guy's covered in tea stain because I keep pouring tea over him, which is super, super fun. Got the giant frog here. This is the three-legged toad of Chinese legend, sitting on a pile of treasure. Apparently he lost his leg protecting his treasure. And then this is Xiaolao, which is an immortality guy. The longevity guy, rather, and one of the Taoist immortals. So I was gifted this by the owner of Hidden Peak Tea House many years ago, and he's one of my favorites. It's really pretty. This is a tiny little cup. It was made in 1911. One of the fun things about tea is getting into teawares, and you can kind of see the glow in this thing. It's a rice glaze. And what they do is they actually put in rice into the clay and embed it in this pattern, and then when they fire the clay, the rice burns out, but the glass goes over top of it. So you have this beautiful open light comes through look to this cool cup. And I'm also using a very tiny teapot today. This tiny little, super, super tiny little thing, much smaller than the ones I've used in the past. And today I'm using this new Heaven's Nest mini tocha. It's tocha means nest or bowl, and this is a very small one, and it's just brand spanking new. It almost looks like the head of a mushroom, doesn't it? Lee, have you tried this one?
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's quite a tea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this up and get the water going while we chat, and then we'll get back to tea with Lee a little in Lee and Ben for the moment. So you've been shut in your house now, aside from when you go down to the Qi Center to teach to the cameras, and now to live attendees over Zoom. What are you doing? What are you guys doing to keep yourselves busy, you and your family?
Oh, you know, we are doing all kinds of fun things. We are playing games, doing Qigong as a family. Right. We just filmed a class with my kids. It was very, very fun and funny. So I think we're going to be sending that out, where I teach Qigong to the kids, and just had a great time with them in the studio. And then they also taught 3 or 4 classes. And the warm up before they're teaching the class is about 10 minutes, but warming up and figuring out what they're going to teach took about a half an hour. So all the shenanigans that went on behind and before the class is extremely funny. So I think we should edit that into a comedy video.
Yeah, before and after with the kids is always just a riot. Your kids are pretty fun.
Yeah, they're super funny. Little comedians. And then we've been taking lots of hikes, getting out in nature. We just did a nice long hike through Wilder Ranch, where there is California poppies are blossoming and blooming. We got to the top of the hill overlooking the bay, and then it started pouring rain. So we walked home in the rain and had a great time stomping in the mud and splashing in the puddles. And luckily enough, we live close to the beach. So we're getting down to the beach in these little coves where there's not too many people, and being able to get outside in nature, feet on the ground in the redwoods and on the beach has been extremely helpful, just to get outside and do some of that. But my kids are now very proficient at mini card games. They love playing Texas Hold'em, or as we call it here, Texas Holden.
Yeah.
And, you know, gambling for treats is something that they really like to do. But we've been playing Monopoly, and the other day we did a speed round of chess and checkers. So two of them were here playing checkers. The other two are playing chess. And so I'm teaching them one of my favorite game, which is chess, in between doing all the Qigong. So it's been great. Hey, Ben, what I was going to do is take people through a little tea meditation.
That's perfect.
So if you guys all have a hot beverage of some sort, or even just a cup of water would be fine. And what I want to do is you bring some tea close to your heart center, and then you close your eyes and you want to circle your teacup in front of your heart center. And as you're circling the cup in front of your heart center, the idea is to stir in or to mix in positive intentions and what you're grateful for, like this cup of tea. As we are blessed to be able to have tea or drinks from all over the world sent to our houses and easily accessible. And this hasn't always been true. So we're drinking delicious tea from China, or coffee from South America, or tea from the UK, India, Asia, Japanese green tea. So these are all wonderful blessings, and we have all kinds of blessings happening. Even under stressful times, we can tune in and focus on the positive things and be able to cultivate more gratitude and even extract or distill the lessons being learned at any particular time from our circumstances. So as we stir here, you take some deep breaths and just put your attention on the things that you're grateful for. And then you just take a sniff of the tea, take a deep breath through your nose, and then over your left shoulder, exhale out through your mouth. Hopefully somebody isn't sitting to your left and you just blew in their ear. That was fine too. But you inhale through the nose. And when you exhale, you think about the things that you want to let go of. Letting go of emotional stress or certain reactivity, a certain perspective in your mind that might be holding you back. You take a deep breath of the tea. Let the breath cleanse you as you exhale over your left shoulder. One more time. Letting go of anything you no longer need. And then you take a nice sip of the tea. And you just mindfully meditate as the tea comes through your mouth, into your throat, into your body, nourishing you with positive energy, a new perspective. Is like watering the seeds of gratitude that you just were sowing into the fertile soil of your heart center. And we could do that one more time. Take a nice deep breath. As you drop into the present moment, getting focused on what you want to create for the day. And that is a nice Qi Gong tea meditation and infusion.
That's very nice.
One of the things when we're doing tea, just like you steep tea into hot water, we're kind of steeping what we want, our intentions and our gratitude, into ourselves as we start the day. So think of yourself as you wake up, your container is purified energy, and your thoughts and your emotions are what you're steeping into your energy system. And so, especially in the beginning of the day, if you can start to steep in positive thoughts, gratitude, it starts to infuse your energy system with that kind of energy. And often people wake up thinking, what do I have to do today? We start off stressed out. We start off with a big to-do list, and often it's not things that we want to be doing. And so as you steep your positive intentions and your gratitude into yourself, into your purified energy as you've slept from the night, then we start to lead from that energy space. We start to lead from a space of gratitude, our heart space, and we start to line up, attract, draw in those experiences that resonate with us on a deeper level. So So there you have it. That's kind of my morning meditation. As I start off with drinking tea before I do my Qigong practice, I'll often do some form of this meditation.
Very nice. Very nice. Very refreshing. Absolutely brought you into the heart and kind of opened up that channel. I've noticed a couple of people asking, why over the left shoulder? Is there a particular reason?
Right, why over the left shoulder? You know, because it's Chinese and it's Qigong, that's just the way you do it.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I would say I'm going to make up some answer that the left side of your body is the heart, is on the heart side. And when you're cleansing and clearing the left side, it's more to do with your heart. And you're thinking about the things that you're grateful for and stirring that into your heart center, into your heart space. So we're cleansing and clearing emotional stress first, and then mixing in the positive energy into our heart space.
Great. That's really delightful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm now drinking my tea. We've got some delicious pu'er tea here, and doing this Gong Fu style. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of tea love while we're all recovering from that experience. This is some beautiful steam. This tiny little teapot. And this thing flowing. Are you doing Gong Fu over there, Lee?
I am. I'm pouring tea for these two lovely ladies here. Can I introduce you guys? This is, that's my mom right there. People are asking.
Hey, Karen.
There's
Hey, Hetty.
There's,
Yeah, don't.
doesn't my mom look great?
Very confusing. Yeah.
And
She
this
does
is
a lot
my-
of Qigong, you can tell.
You've just met Hetty, my girlfriend, right there. She's the one who makes
Hey, Hetty.
delicious coffee,
Yeah.
healthy coffee, made with love and gratitude. And now we're on to tea. So that's who's sitting at my table, and I'm pouring tea for everybody as I'm discussing. And of course, there's Charlie here too.
Yeah, Charlie loves tea, right?
Yeah, he just joined.
Somebody was asking, where does the boiled water go in the tea table? This is one of the things that if you really get into tea, eventually you'll end up investing in. And this table has kind of a grate over it, this water. And then underneath there is a drain, and there's a hose that goes to a catchment bottle that I use that is kind of like just frees you up to pour water everywhere and pour tea over these lovely little figurines and just kind of make it an experience. And one of the main benefits of that is, much like with Lee's meditation, really becoming present. And so you have enough stuff to do that it brings you into the present moment, and you can sort of relax into and settle into having a tea experience. And the tea itself is also, certainly these pu'er teas and many other of the tea plant teas, green tea, black tea, oolong tea, have that effect as well. They can really help you become present in the moment. So doing this Gong Fu ritual, they call it Gong Fu, is a wonderful way to become present to the moment. And then using these same teas in a strainer or in a tea bag is fine. And I do that a lot too. So especially when I travel, I have a travel tumbler with a strainer in it. I just put some leaves in there, pour the water in, pour it into a mug, and I'm off to the races. So it's not necessary to do all this, but those of us who've discovered it enjoy it, and it's kind of a nice adjunct to our Taoist practices.
Yeah, that's great, Ben. I was just going to say, you know, this word Gong Fu is the same word as Qi Gong. The Gong is a similar word, which means a skill at. So you have this skill at pouring tea, and Gong Fu often means expertise. So you become an expert at pouring tea. You can become an expert at working with Qi, become an expert at what you're doing. Gong Fu also became known as an expertise at martial arts. But you can be a Gong Fu tea, you can be Gong Fu at, you know, cooking, parenting, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's really about Gong Fu living, and that's a big part of what Qi living is all about, living a life of Qi And living a life of tea is a great adjunct to that. In fact, a lot of people don't know this, but tea is a sanctioned dharma path in Buddhism. It actually is, in and of itself, considered a spiritual path, or can be considered, and certainly an adjunct to a lot of Eastern spiritual practices. We think of the really ornate and very precise Japanese matcha ceremony as part of Zen practice. This Gong Fu version is very Taoist, very flowy, like, let's see where the water flows this time, and it's kind of different every day. So yeah, here we are with our Kung Fu living, as Lee says.
Yep.
Well, I think it'd be really nice to start to take some questions. How do you feel about that, Lee?
Yeah, let's do some questions. Absolutely.
Is there anything else we want to let people know about? I guess one is that now our subscription, our weekly classes subscription, now has live option, and we're just starting to really schedule those out for the foreseeable future. And so soon there will be announcements about the upcoming classes over the next couple of weeks. The first one is tomorrow at 2:30 Pacific. So that may be different time for you, but it's 2:30 Pacific. And what we're going to do is, kind of have some in the morning occasionally, some in the mid-afternoon, some in the evening at the normal 5:30 time or thereabouts, like we did yesterday. And just make sure that we're hitting different time zones so that at least occasionally, once a week or so, you can probably come to one wherever you are in the world. We had well over 100 people yesterday join us live on Zoom, and Lee taught the class, and we did a little bit of a preliminary Q&A, which is fantastic. So we really, it's just been great to see all of your faces and get to know faces for the names. Our customer service folks are like, it's so cool to see these people's faces. I've been seeing their names for years. So it's just been great for the whole team, really. So we'll be sending out the details for joining tomorrow's 2:30 later today to subscribers. And then in the subscription, we're going to put a calendar of classes, and details for how to join each one will be coming close to the time of the class.
Do we have, can people still get that 2-week free trial if you're not a subscriber, so that they can try and see how they like it? And
yep.
I think we have a 2-week free trial, so you can just come take some classes and see how you like it. And it ends up only being, if you're doing all the classes, it ends up being only a few dollars per class per month. So we try to make it very reasonable for folks so that you get full benefit. And there's options in there for you. You could do 20 minutes. It's always an hour-ish kind of class with some meditation. And there's stuff on there like a morning and an evening, a seated routine that's always on the subscription. So there's lots of choices.
Yep.
So it was great practicing with everybody and creating that energy field, and it was just a really nice, strong practice. And it felt like you were all there with me. So that was great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that we live in a time where we can do this, and it's such a real-time experience, and the ability to have these face-to-face conversations with students before class as well. It's just been pretty awesome. Just wasn't very many years ago it would have been inconceivable for us to even try to do this. So Zach will be putting a link in the chat in a moment with the how to join a subscription trial, so you can try it out for a couple weeks, as Lee said, if that's something you're interested in. We also will have some future workshops coming up. I think at the end of this month, we have a Qi Gong for Seniors workshop coming up, which should be pretty great. I think it's something also to do for those who have seniors in their lives, as well as for seniors themselves who want to come in. And the forthcoming series of DVDs and new titles are also kind of oriented towards people who are in the greatest generation, and the Qigong for longevity, Qigong for better balance, and there's also a seated routine that will be, that were all filmed in Croatia. So those are a few weeks out, but those will be coming out as well. So we got a lot of neat new stuff that's finally coming to like completion pretty soon here. So this may be the first time we've mentioned those things to people.
All right. Should we do some questions?
Yeah, let's do it. So I have a couple of folks with their hands raised, and then I suspect that Zach may be collecting questions from the Facebook
Yeah,
chat.
some people asking questions in the chat as well.
Yep. And so
Five elements. I just responded that, you know, she was wondering where to find 5-element programs. And we have the nice thing that we've done is we've filmed a lot of my courses. So you can take a 5-element deep dive week-long workshop online at your own pace. And we also have like a 5-element program. So we've done a lot of work to make high-end programs that are out in nature, where we filmed with 3 to 5 cameras in beautiful settings. And then we also film live in studio. So you get a more of a classroom feel, or you get more of a nature feel. And these are fairly different experiences, but say a program like the 5 elements, we have both. And you can find those on our website. But you know, the difference between, let's say, the subscription, what we're talking about, and let's say a 5-element routine is a little bit like the 5-element routine is going to be a great recipe that you can follow over and over again. And the subscription is like getting your meals planned out for you every week, and you'll get a nice diverse group of exercises. You get to cross-train your energy system, and you get to do a variety of different kinds of workouts in the subscription. So you can have some of your favorite routines that you go to once or twice a week or 3 times a week, and then you get your subscription that you do a couple times a week, and it's a really nice balance.
yeah, I mean, if you have specific things you're working on, those beautiful outdoor routines are fantastic. You know, somebody's mentioning Qi Gong and osteoporosis, for example. The Qi Gong for healthy bones content out in Yosemite with I think it's Bridal Veil Falls as the backdrop. It's pretty beautiful. And if you mix that in with your subscription classes, do that a couple times a week for the bones, and then do the subscription classes to get, I like to say it's like having a nutritionist and a chef plan out your meals several times a week so that you get a variety of movement and chi and energy practices, nutrition, just like Lee said, when you're on the subscription. But that if you've got a favorite recipe that is kind of your go-to throughout the week, like if you're dealing with bone issues, Qi Gong for healthy bones, then you really get some of each. Or if you're doing the teacher training, then you're able to go through the 5 elements and the progressive understanding and the actual practice within the teacher training, but still have the ongoing movement and variety that the subscription offers. So it's really a beautiful combination. I know, Lee, you've been collecting a couple of other topics in the chat. Do you just want to kind of rapid fire a few?
Yeah, I think people are asking, can you subscribe if you aren't on Facebook? And yeah, I think Zach just put in the chat where you can get the 2-week trial. So maybe you can put that in there. You just subscribe on our website.
Yeah.
Will there be an intermediate level routines coming out? And you know, I do a lot of intermediate level stuff in our workshops, like we just did an iron shirt workshop. We did wisdom qigong. We've done a bunch of those in the 3-hour workshops. So I try to do a deeper dive in that. Also in the subscription, there'll be often classes that are more intermediate level. So we have a lot of people in our subscription that have been there for years and years. And so I do more intermediate level stuff in the subscription as well.
Yep. We also have some people asking a couple of logistical questions. How much is the video subscription? It is $39 a month, which again is the cost of 3 classes a month. But there's 8 to 12 new classes every month, as well as classic classes and bonuses. So we're kind of constantly teaching new classes and adding them to the subscription. And the way that it's best to think of it is it's kind of like having a gym membership or an unlimited pass to go to your local yoga studio, which if you do have an unlimited pass to your local yoga studio, it's probably more like $100 a month or more. And being able to come to whatever classes you wish. But what we don't do is have them all pile up into a giant pile so that when you want to sit down and do Qigong, you have the Netflix problem of spending 30 minutes figuring out which class to do and then not doing any classes. So we've been, most people have had the most success with that. If you have a regular practice or you want a regular practice, it's a great way to do it because it's ongoing and it kind of brings you into deeper and deeper levels as you do different things over time. But if you have a specific ailment or specific issue, the healing series is fantastic for those things, as well as the workshops, which go into specific topics. I noticed somebody asked about insomnia also in the chat room. So maybe, Lee, you want to address that?
Yeah, insomnia. I mean, this is an interesting topic because sleep is so important to our health and vitality. It's the cultivation of yin energy. And when we think of energy, we often think of the cup of coffee energy, the energy to get up and go through your day. That is called yang qi, the energy to do things. But we also need yin energy, the energy to relax, to unwind, to calm our minds, and to sleep well. So in Qigong, there's a saying, don't go to sleep if you're too tired, which is interesting, right? Why wouldn't you go to sleep if you're too tired? Well, when you're sleeping, you need energy to do all the things your body is going to do while you're sleeping, to cleanse and clear, to detoxify, to work out emotional stress that you might have picked up during the day. So they recommend doing some yin tonifying exercises before going to sleep so that you sleep well. And that while you're sleeping, your body has all kinds of energy to do all the things it needs. And then when you wake up in the morning, you feel rested and you feel revitalized. So what are the things to do before sleeping? Slow flowing movements cultivate yin. Meditation, calming your mind. There's a practice of the 6 healing sounds that are wonderful for improving sleep and cultivating yin. The 6 healing sounds, they will clear the stress of the day and put you in a space of deep relaxation so that when you sleep well. And you rest well so that your body rejuvenates and you wake up more refreshed. So there is Qigong exercises that are more for the morning, and then there's Qigong exercises more for the night, each one cultivating a different kind of energy. So for our sleep, I think that, you know, as modern people, as Westerners, we're often wired and tired. And this saying really is yin and yang is imbalanced. Your yang energy is in your head, making you think too much, and your yin energy is in your body, making you feel tired and depleted. And so if we can reverse that, where we bring the yang energy into our bodies, we have a surplus of energy, and then we bring the yin energy to our heads, where we feel calm, clear, and relaxed, where we have peace of mind. This is a balanced state of being, and that's the goal of Qigong practice.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Couple of questions coming up. One is, some of the classes go a bit fast for me. What advice do you have if that happens?
Oh, you can slow down, especially because you're home. You got the little pause button right there. You can stop me anytime you want. Like, stop right there, Lee. Bam, hit the pause button, and I'll freeze for you. So I think, you know, we're doing a general routine, you know, so you can listen to your own system and say, oh, I'd really like to take this a little slower. I'd like to spend more time with a particular exercise like cloudy hands or something. And that's totally fine, just to stop and continue with your practice, to slow down. Because what I'm doing is doing kind of a middle path where it's not too fast, not too slow. When we go a little quicker, it tends to keep people's attention. But as you're dropping in, when you go slower with flows, especially, you can drop into deeper layers of energy. And that's a more intermediate or advanced practice, is to go extra slow with the workout. So feel free, especially if you're at home, to slow things down, to work on an exercise at your own pace. When you're live in class with me, I like people to go at the same pace so that we create that group energy. And there's tremendous benefit in all being in the same space, doing the same exercise at the same time. This is something called entrainment. And entrainment is something you see in nature, where birds will fly in rhythm, or schools of fish swim at the same time. They're all part of this group energy field, that the individual energy creates an enhancement of the group energy. And that's what's so beneficial about these groups, is that we start to entrain, we start to sync up, and we start to elevate each other's energy, which is a wonderful thing about getting together in small groups as a way to create cohesive energy, a coherent energy in alignment with a particular intention.
Excellent. Yeah, my experience as a student certainly is that there are times when I'll go at my own pace, especially during the flows. I'll close my eyes and just let my body tell me, and the energy that's flowing through my body tell me what pace to do the movement at. So I'll certainly echo everything you just said, and that for me, that's gotten the best possible results. Mm-hmm. I think there's also different people are, have different capacity for like stretching, for example. So if there's a bending over and stretch, and you're, doing the work with your body, some people need to take that easier initially, and then over time you find you're more flexible and you're more able to settle deeper into the stretch. So it's another sort of variant of find your own pace, find your own level of stretch and intensity.
Yeah,
I think that's helpful advice.
That's great. Yep, absolutely. I'm just looking at some more questions. How close to bedtime do you recommend doing the yin exercises? With healing sounds, you could do it right before bed. Sometimes just sit on the edge of your bed, do it lying down. Anytime, let's say in the evening to right before bed is good. Some people, if you're doing too much movement right before bed, it tends to wake you up. So I would say the standing, moving exercises, maybe an hour or two before bed is good. Any time in the evening to do those exercises. From Vinny, another question, what about Qi running? Qi running's great. It's just a way of working with Qi principles in exercise. And you can do, Qi Gong practices, and integrate the principles of practice into all kinds of workouts. In fact, when you see athletes or dancers or martial artists, hardstyle martial artists doing exercises at a very high level, it looks like they're really relaxed and fluid, even though they're going very fast. So you'll see Qi principles working with speed, even though we are often doing Qigong going slowly. So you train flow state slowly so that you get proficient at it when you do it going fast.
That's great. Hey, Lee, I just want to direct everybody's attention. There is a Q&A feature. And so if you want to ask a question, basically there's two choices that really work well so we can keep track of them. One is to use the Q&A and say, ask a question using the Zoom button for that. And then the other one is to raise your hand if you want to come on camera, which we'll do a little later towards the end. And so just wanted to make sure people know about that, because there's a lot of ups and downs in the chat room, and there's a lot of stuff flowing by. And meanwhile, there's a lot of questions showing up in the Q&A. We want to make sure we can kind of keep track of what we've answered and what we haven't. So that's really the best way to ask questions, that as we drop into more Q&A, please go over to that feature within the webinar, within the Zoom, and use that. And so we're going to kind of turn our attention there for now and get through as many of those as we can.
Yeah, let's do, I'll go to, if you have questions, bring them into the Q&A, and then I'll look through those.
Great.
Regina is asking, do you have a teacher training or retreats coming up in the summer or fall? That is a good question. We might need to ask the Corona Qi if we're allowed to do QiGong together in the summer. But we do have summer and fall retreats scheduled. It's just a matter of if we're going to be able to bring those in. I'm imagining that we'll be able to do those probably later in the summer and in the fall. So keep an eye out for those live retreats, end of summer and fall. We'll probably have to kind of massage our schedule together and figure out when we're going to do that as we clear through this interesting time.
Yeah, we have a couple coming up that we are at this point, a couple of the live trainings like Buddha Palm and so forth. At this point, we're saying, if we're allowed, then you can come in person. And if not, sorry, but we'll figure out, how to do it online. So you may see some of that in some of the new items that are showing up in our event calendar on the website.
Yeah.
Just, we don't know until we know.
Yeah. And that being said, we also have the teacher training online. So you can do the teacher training online. In fact, that's how we're doing the teacher training, is to have everybody go through it online. And the best way is to do it online and then come to a 5-element or 3 treasures in person. So you get both types of education. You get the education where in person, you're getting this real transformational learning. That's more than just, informational learning. You're getting this transformation that comes from the inside out by being in person, by taking time away from your normal routines, and you come in and do a deep dive all together where we get out in nature, the redwoods, the beach. We answer questions and we lead you through a really deep immersion experience where you come out transformed, meaning you come out a different person than the beginning of the week. And the teacher training, the online, is a lot of information. It's a lot of exercises that we've done and filmed in live courses, but you also get, quizzes at the end of each week. You get all our continuity programs. You get our the box sets, workbooks, and everything like that online. So doing those together is a really wonderful way to educate yourself and transform, to really take your practice to the next level. Okay, so let me get to some more questions. I was delighted to see you are offering Buddha Palm online. Thank you. Would you consider offering Tai Chi online, perhaps once a month? Love the little snippets you include in your classes. Yeah, I think Tai Chi is a great thing, and we were having that planned out for one of our summer or fall retreats. So keep an eye out for that, because the way I'll teach Tai Chi is more of a Tai Chi QiGong. So it's not a long form that you're going to learn over a year, but more Tai Chi done with QiGong principles for health, stress management, and energy cultivation. All right, if the thymus gland stops growing around puberty and then slowly goes away, what are we doing when we tap on our system? Well,
Sternum.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, on our sternum.
Yeah.
When you're tapping on your sternum, you are energizing an energy center. So when you have, let's say, your spleen taken out or your gallbladder taken out, in Chinese medicine, you have still spleen qi or gallbladder qi. And it's the same with thymus gland. The thymus is part of the endocrine system, which is ruled by the water element. And so when you're tapping on your chest, you're still activating key pressure points for your heart, your lungs, your energy system, or your endocrine overall qi. So keep tapping on your thymus gland, even if you don't have a thymus gland, or if it stopped growing, as you said, in puberty, you still have this thymus gland energy, and that we want to support the organs that are doing the job for the thymus gland. So your system will take over. It's kind of like, if you're a soccer team, I'm going to give you a soccer team analogy here, and one of your players gets a red card. Now you're playing with 10 players. Those 10 players now pull together to make up the 11-player team. And your energy system is like that. You might be, one man down, but now all the other systems are even stronger and more cohesive because of it. So your system will then make up for it by coming together in a cohesive way to energize and become a team again without that particular organ.
I think you need more soccer player analogies in your teachings. That's great.
Okay, I could do that. Yeah.
For anybody who knows Lee's origin story of how he got into Qigong, it was an athletic injury as a varsity soccer player at Berkeley. So he still coaches and keeps things flowing in the soccer realm his whole life. But if it weren't for that injury, he probably wouldn't be here in front of you all today. So
that's true. That's the classic case of yin turning to yang, where something that you think is a bad thing turns into a great thing. So that was definitely a catalyst for moving into new space, because I probably would have had a different kind of career, and that kind of leads us into the time we're living where we're like, oh, this is so horrible, what's happening? And yes, it is, but can we distill some of the positive? Can we take time to go inward, because we are having to be more secluded? What's the opportunity there? Because we often don't get this chance to really sit with ourselves, to be with ourselves or our families into this is a yin time of going inward. It's kind of forced yin time. It's like cave training in Taoism, where you have to go inside and just look at yourself and be with your own energy system, and take that as an opportunity to really get to know yourself in a different way, to emerge stronger within yourself because of this time would be a great gift. So that's kind of the challenge that we're all facing right now, is how do we take this challenge and utilize it as a catalyst for something that might emerge that's truly wonderful.
Well said.
All right, another question. I need advice from Lee. I've got a small pain in my lower back for 2 to 3 months that is gradually growing. I suspect it's because I overdid some exercises, especially hip rotations. The pain originated in the left hip, has spread around the back. I'd like to ask Lee exercises and what I would recommend. Low back is sensitive, right? Especially if we often are sitting too long and then we get up and we start doing exercises. So I think low back, neck, and shoulders, we need to sometimes come into these exercises gently. And then sometimes we come in and we go into it really strong. So come in gently with circulation, you know, if you have issues where your neck is tight or your back is stiff, warm up. You might want to warm up a little bit even before you do stretches. You might be even a little bit more than we're doing in class. Or just go in real slowly and don't overdo it. Now, I was answering a customer service question today, and somebody was asking about, oh, I have this particular exercise is painful because I have an injury there. What should I do? And in Qigong, I often say a little bit jokingly, no pain, no pain. Meaning it's not the no pain, no gain. It's the no pain. Don't do an exercise if it hurts. You can modify the exercise. So if you're doing hip circles, do them slowly, maybe not as big of range of motion, and really tune in and listen to your body. So we want to get movement to our painful areas. We want to free up the Qi, because stagnant Qi leads to more pain. And so movement is going to release tension or tightness or stagnation that's there. So do the exercise slowly, modify it. If it doesn't work for you, skip it, because there are 3,000 styles of Qigong with multiple variations of exercises. So let's find exercises that really work for your body.
That's great.
That said, we do have, you know, the low back workshop that we filmed that people could do. That's a 3-hour course that you can really sink into lower back focused exercises. Strengthening the core is a great thing to do. Stretching the lines of tension, and do these nice and easy and gently. And with low back, I find that don't sit for too long. Don't sit in chairs that are uncomfortable, or sit on the couch for 3 or 4 hours watching TV. Make sure you get up like every hour or two and stretch your low back, even if it's just for 2 or 3 minutes. Or even better, if you're, you know, watching TV, working, reading, maybe get on the floor and do some stretching while you're doing those activities.
Mm-hmm.
And Thomas asks, what are 2 great Qigong moves that can be done right before bed? That's a good one. Just nail down 2 exercises. That's a really good thing. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Right before bed, pulling down the heavens. Pulling down the heavens. So 3 minutes, inhale and exhale. Can be really wonderful to do right before bed. Also wave breathing, where you inhale through the nose. You can do this one lying down. Exhale. So you're breathing all the way up to your chest, and then exhaling chest, ribs, belly. So you're just slow, deep breathing in and out through the nose. And you can just do this until you start to feel your body relax more and more and more. And as I'm saying this, my dog Charlie is starting to fall asleep here at the table. Can you guys see that? That's you're live, Charlie.
Oh, hey, Charlie. Oh, I just woke Charlie up. Sorry, Charlie.
He sits up here when I'm doing these calls, and he just starts his eyes when I'm doing. All of a sudden, I start doing Qigong, and his eyes start to do that. So I know it's working.
That's adorable.
Yeah. All right, those are 2 great exercises. Jane, greetings to Lee and Ben and all others. I'm wondering if it's possible. Let's see. I'm wondering if it isn't possible to be present for the live class. Will they also be posted later? Yes, they'll be posted later, right, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still the same subscription classes. They show up in the subscription. They'll roll through just like they were when Lee was teaching a room full of people. But now you have a chance to show up live even if you live somewhere other than Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
So they'll continue to be posted 3 times a week.
And Leah Matheson, she's the host of the UK
Oh, yeah.
show. So
Yes, I just interrupted you. You said UK Health Radio.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot. You do have a fresh interview coming up there, don't you? That's great.
I have a fresh interview with Leah coming up on her radio show. So tune into UK Health Radio. And we've done a lot of radio shows on health and Qi Gong and all kinds of topic over the years. And so I have one coming up this week on her show called Master Your Life, UK Health Radio. That was with Leah Matheson. Yeah,
she's also a teacher trainer. She's done the teacher training, and I think is done or close to done, if not with her certification. So
thanks, Leah. I can't seem to hold the Dantian energy. She can feel it in her hands, but it seems to dissipate in the tummy. Can you explain this? This is a common thing where we feel energy in the hands, in the extremities. Hands are more sensitive. And as we go inward, the energy in the Dantian actually is a different sensation. So you will feel the energy in the Dantian, but it's different than your hands because it's a different location. It's like being on the surface of the ocean where it feels very bubbly and energized and wavy. And then when you go down under the surface into the depth of the ocean, it feels calm or peaceful. Now I'm using scuba diving analogies and metaphors. So when you go into the ocean and you go under the surface, there's this tremendous peace that you feel when you go under the water. At first, it's kind of like you have to get through your fear, but then you get into this deep state of peace. And this Dantian energy is your core energy. It's called original Qi. So it's more in alignment with who you are at your foundation and at your core. And sometimes it doesn't have as much yang energy, as much, let's say, sensory activity, but all of a sudden you get this deep sense of connection to who you are, a deep sense of peace where your mind becomes calm and you feel content in the present moment. So you start to look for a different kind of energy. It's a different frequency that you're feeling. And it can feel and manifest differently at different times. Sometimes it does feel electromagnetic in your belly, but often it just feels like you're in touch with who you are. Let's see, as someone with past trauma, I've been and still often keep my abdomen clenched. And so it's so stiff now that I can't do abdominal breathing well. So how do I get better at it? Yeah, thanks for that question. That is true. When we, the abdomen is the center. So whatever trauma or emotions that we are feeling, we're digesting like we're digesting food. So we internalize and digest experience in a similar way that we digest food. So experience is a kind of Qi. And when we have a really, let's say, negative or traumatic experience, it'll create like this emotional scar tissue and these energetic patterns where we're holding and staying protected. And we might be staying and holding those patterns even though that circumstance isn't here in our present moment. And so we need to remind ourselves that that dangerous circumstance and situation isn't right here, right now, that it's an energetic pattern that might have protected us in our past, but that we're stronger and we have more resources now that we can have a different resource and skill set to meet our present moment circumstances with a more skillful energy. So to cleanse and clear trauma is some work. That's the gong of Qigong practice. So I would say you keep practicing, keep doing your belly breathing. If it's challenging to do, you just do what you can. Slow, deep through the nose. So with belly breathing, if you can exhale all the way out. So if we all want to try this, just try exhaling all the way out first. Exhale more. Then when you inhale, you'll take a deep breath automatically. And then focus on your exhale again. Exhale all the way out. And just see when you exhale all the way out, if when you do inhale, it's a little bit deeper and maybe lower into your belly. And then just keep practicing. And eventually what happens is your breath starts to self-regulate, that your breathing becomes and has its own pattern without you thinking about it. With trauma, you can do healing sounds, and you can also do something called blending with the contracted energy. So for tension in the belly or tension in the neck and shoulders, if you contract a little bit more, so let's all try this. You're gonna Inhale and squeeze all your muscles tight. Hold for 3, 4, 5 seconds. And then when you exhale, soften and relax. You're going to relax more than before you started the contraction. And do that one more time. Inhale and contract all your muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your belly tight, your neck and shoulders, even your jaw. Hold your breath. And then you exhale and relax even more. And then take a slow, deep breath or two through your nose. And your system has now been reset. And then just feel where you are in the present moment. You feel your body on the chair. You might notice the sounds in the room. And just remind yourself, this moment is safe. This moment is free of stress. And so then your body starts to relax with that present moment mindset.
Hey, Lee, I know we have a lot of questions coming in through Facebook as well.
Okay.
So it might be a good idea to get Zach to tee some of those up for us at this point. Just make
Okay,
sure.
yeah, maybe can you just write them into our chat room here, or you could just ask me them over the Zoom, Zach.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up right here. I can just ask you over
Okay,
Zoom.
great.
We have a question from Karen Eckfert. She just finished an hour-long routine, and when you did the big guy move, she always gets so hot. Does that mean anything?
Oh, that's good. The big guy move, that's a really fun one, where you take Qi and you pull it into your belly and then let the Qi move through your whole body. And I learned this from a teacher, and one of the students asked, hey, what's the name of this movement? He said, big guy. So that's why I call it the big guy move. So you're pulling your Qi ball into your lower dantian, and then you open your hands out to the sides and let the energy move through your whole body. And if you're getting warm or hot, that's a sign that energy is moving. So that's good. Heat is a sign of Qi, because what is the difference between an alive body and a dead body? It's warmth. So life force energy has heat to it. So as you improve circulation or get energy circulating and moving through you, often it does feel warm. And that is a good sign that Qi is moving.
Yeah, now we have another question from Natasha Miedelman. Can ceremonial drinking of tea be a discipline and spiritual practice within itself?
Drinking tea can be a ceremonial practice within itself. And Ben was talking about the Dharma of tea drinking. It's a Buddhist practice, and it's a wonderful meditative practice. You know, often tea is good for you, especially the ritualized version where you're doing some intention setting as you're drinking your tea, and it becomes ritualized, even if it's just for a few minutes like we did this morning, or we just were stirring in some gratitude into our practice. It is a great mindfulness practice.
Yeah, that's great. And now Karen Eckfert has another question for us. Do you work out with weights, Lee, or do you get everything you require from QiGong?
I mean, you can get everything you require from this particular style of QiGong, because I make it, you know, warm up, which is fitness in the beginning of class. Then we do stretching, a little bit like yoga. And then we do flows, Tai Chi like, and then we do meditation. So you're getting this integrative alchemy of movement that is better together. It's like a good recipe. When you start seasoning and adding different ingredients together, everything is really delicious. And that's what we're doing. We're creating this delicious internal energy system where we feel energized and relaxed at the same time. So you can get so much from your QiGong practice. If you like exercising, you like weightlifting, you like surfing, mountain biking, do that, because your QiGong practice will support any other kind of fitness. There are, you know, benefits to weight-bearing exercises like weight training. I like to do some kettlebell exercises. I mountain bike, I stand up paddleboard, and my QiGong practice allows me to do that in a, you know, in a much better way. I'm probably in as good of shape mountain biking as I was 20 years ago. So I'm still doing the same rides and the same technical difficulty. And I attribute that to my QiGong practice, being able to have stronger lungs, less tension in my muscles, and better recovery.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and so Heather has a question for us about QiGong for kids. Do you have any recommendations for doing QiGong with children? I'm a mama who has done exercises for years, but now I'm at home with young children. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so great. And that's why I just did this program with my kids. So keep an eye out for that, you know, 20-minute workout that I did with my kids, so you can follow along. I often will go to my daughter's classes and teach Qigong for their teachers. I think it's a wonderful thing. It's something that's been on my list for years to create some programming around kids. And I know that is on our list of things to do. So I was excited that we actually did something and filmed it, and we'll put that out to our community.
Great. Yeah. And so we have a question from Paula now. She has a trapped sciatic nerve with neuralgic pain and has continual pain waiting for surgery. But with COVID, she can't get that done. Do you have any tips to relax her body?
Neurological pain, I would say, again, it's kind of my go-to answer, the healing sounds, because you clear inflammation with the sounds, and focus more on slow flowing movements. So you're just going to breathe slow, do more flows, because as you relax your body, your nervous system relaxes, and it's wonderful to clear pain. The other course that we have is the audio meditation for health and healing, and just working with your mind with different meditations can be a great practice.
Nice. Yeah. So our last question from our Facebook viewer is going to be from Jan Newman. I'm working on opening my heart center and learning to self-love. What exercises is the best for opening the heart center?
Oh, that's wonderful. That's a lifelong practice, isn't it? Self-compassion, self-love, self-kindness. It's hard because our inner dialogue, and often what we're taught is to be self-critical. So often you'll see your internal dialogue often being critical. And with awareness, you want to be able to like point that out to yourself and like, oh, there's that voice that's critical. I see you. What would be the opposite way of thinking? How could I turn this inner dialogue that I have going on in my mind one of self-compassion or kindness? Now in Qigong, there's a meditation called the inner smile. And it's very simple. In fact, we could do a little version of this as we end today at some point, where you smile into your heart center. So you just create a little smile on your face as if you're smiling to somebody that you really care about from across the room, but you return that smiling energy inward, and you just smile to your different organs or different parts of yourself as a meditative practice of self-compassion.
Fantastic. Thanks, Zach, for helping us field some of those questions from the Facebook community. And just a shout out to the Facebook community. I'm glad you're all here and enjoying watching live. We're going to turn our attention now to the folks who have raised their hands. And one of the things I'd like to do, I think we've got maybe about 20 minutes. So just to make sure that things move quickly, if you're interested, now is a great time to raise your hand, and we'll see how many folks we can interact with here. So Thomas Leamy, you are first, and I'm going to go ahead and promote you to panelist. So I believe you should be able to come on and chat with us. And he may have wandered off. Who knows? Next up is Angelina Corey. And hi, Angelina. I'm going to promote you to panelist. And so there she is, and or he. Hi, Angelina. You can unmute yourself, and now you are live with Lee. Angelina, I'm sorry. I'm hitting the unmute button, but it's not working. I think I muted you again. Sorry. There you go.
My main question is, what is...
Oh, can you hear her, Ben?
No. But she's not muted, so I'm not sure why.
I don't know.
Oh,
there we go.
now I hear you. Try again. Sorry.
What's the difference between Tai Chi and Qi Gong?
Great question. Okay, so Tai Chi is often considered a martial arts practice. It originated as a martial art. Tai Chi and Qigong have very similar principles. They're moving with slowness, with relaxation, and with flow. But Tai Chi is a little bit more complex because you're going to be doing the movement walking. You're going to learn and memorize a whole form. where one movement goes into another movement, goes into another movement. Where Qigong is a little bit simpler, you're going to learn one movement and then that movement repeats itself. So it becomes this meditative practice with one movement at a time that maybe you repeat over and over again for 3 to 5 minutes. And where Tai Chi, you just do that movement once. So there's more walking, there's more martial arts in Tai Chi. In fact, Tai Chi is a form of Qigong because there's 3 styles of Qigong. You have martial style of Qigong, which is Tai Chi or Iron Shirt. You have medical styles of Qigong. Often the 5 elements would be considered medical, improving the health of your body. And then you have the spiritual styles of Qigong, being connected to the universe, finding your true nature or your original Qi. This is more like 3 treasures. So those different styles are part of Qigong practice. Qigong practice goes back 5,000 years or longer. Tai Chi originated some 800 to 900 years ago as a form of Qigong. So often people don't know that Tai Chi and Qigong come from the same root, and just Tai Chi is a little bit more martial focused. But in fact, now people practice it for the same reasons you practice Qigong, for health, energy cultivation, vitality. So I often recommend people do Qigong first, learn the principles of flow. Then you do something more complex like Tai Chi. It becomes much easier because Tai Chi can be a little frustrating if you just dive into practice, have to memorize a whole bunch of movements, but aren't feeling the energy or the flow. It's challenging that way. So do Qigong first, learn the principles, then work your way into Tai Chi practice.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, that's certainly also been my experience, is that once you have sensitivity because of the Qigong training, which is very easy to drop into, and the way Lee teaches, very easy for us chattery Western-minded people to drop into the body. Now showing up to do Tai Chi, which is very tonifying, builds a lot of power in the energy. But if you're not sensitive to the internal kinesthetic sense of energy, then you don't feel all that power you're building if you just kind of come to Tai Chi cold. So when I came to Tai Chi the first time, before I'd ever done Qigong, it was like, yeah, it seems kind of neat, a little relaxing. When I came to it the second time after having done Qigong for a couple of years, it was like, wow, this is strong. So I had that exact experience. Next up, we have Beth. Beth, you're going to be able to talk in about 5 seconds. Beth, are you there? You can unmute yourself and you can turn your camera on. There's Beth.
Hi. Good
Hi, Beth.
morning. Wonderful to see you all. I might have breakfast in my mouth. Sorry. So Lee, when you were answering the question about the
Oh, that's the old Qigong move. Drop your phone.
Yep, that's a good one.
how do I do that?
That's a good Qigong move. Sometimes you really need to put that in place and just drop the device.
Yeah.
Video.
It's like dropping the mic. It just stands out. Yeah.
Hey, Beth.
The answer to your question, Beth, is yes.
Oh. That is a lovely bird song. Beth, we're going to have to come back to you, I think. Kim Hamrock, you're next up. So Kim will be rejoining any second and should be able to unmute herself, and afraid not. All right. Frances Veiling. Here we are, Frances Veiling. All right. Edward Roswell. That one worked. Here comes Edward.
Okay.
Hi, Edward. You can unmute yourself. Turn on your camera now.
I have
Oh,
Sorry, am I?
there you are. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Lee. I have a question because I have only one eye, and I have had like 30 eye surgeries, and I'm almost blind on my only eye, and of course, all Qigong is helping to heal and such. But I wonder if there is anything in particular I could do to help my eye to heal, or if you know what I mean, because it's almost falling to pieces
I'm sorry to hear
by
about that.
surgeries and damages.
Yeah, that is really challenging circumstance. So in Chinese medicine, I'll give you some Chinese medicine theory about this, and maybe we can work at it from a Chinese medicine energetic perspective. So eyes are related to the liver. So each of the 5 elements is associated with a particular sense. So liver is eyes, kidney is ears, things like that. As you know, 5 elements, they have a relationship to other parts of our body. So when you work on the liver energy, you're working on the eyes. So the exercise, for example, of tree sways in the wind, when you turn to one side, you bring the hands up. Often we'll go to the top of the head. If you come right by your forehead and just bring some energy to the eyes, and then the hands come down. And you do the other side, bring the energy to the eyes. In fact, I did this exercise in class yesterday.
Yeah.
You just kind of come to the eyes as opposed to the top of the head. Then after you do Qigong, when your hands are very energized, just hold them over your eyes, and you can make your eyes move a little bit left and right and up and down, and send the Qi, this healing energy that you've cultivated in your hands, just send it right into your eyes. And that's one of the best exercises you can do for the senses. There's our eye exercises of looking left and right and making circles with the eyes to strengthen the muscles. Those can be extremely helpful. But just getting your hands energized and activating the healing power of your body, and imagine golden light swirling through the eyes and into your brain.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I will
Edward.
try this. Thank you.
Fantastic. Next up, we have Donna Ray Smith. We all know Donna Ray Smith. Here she comes. Hi, Donna. You can unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Hi, Donna. I just unmuted you. Can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
I don't know where. Oh, start video. Here we go. I got it.
Beautiful. Hi, Donna.
Hi. So for those of us who have done the equivalent of or have done the 200-hour training with Lee, I've been studying with Lee for 8 years. I'm so happy and so gratified to have been able to do that. What is the next step, and how do we access that kind of training?
Well, we had a, nice to see you, Donna Ray. Yeah, it's so great that you've been training for so long. It's so wonderful. And Donna Ray has been teaching on the East Coast and spreading all kinds of good Qi through all your work that you do in the world. We have a 500-hour training, and we had last fall, we had a 500-hour week-long workshop. And so we're planning the next 500-hour week-long training where people that have done the 200-hour have come live and in person, and we do a real deep dive both in training, education, as well as giving corrections and looking at your practice, both for your personal practice and what you want to teach, and helping you to improve both of those. So let's say you wanted to teach one-on-one or small classes or go into hospitals and teach. We really fine tune what your practice is and how you want to bring it out into the world. So that's a live week-long training that we're going to do again in the near future.
Is that usually posted on the website?
Yeah, and it's sent, I think it's sent to our teacher trainers.
Yeah, once we schedule the next one, that's where it would land. The other thing that you can do is look into, on the website, under the teacher training navigation item, there is a tier 2 area.
Right.
And so that sort of spells out the specific requirements. And so as those trainings become available, and again, we've kind of not put anything on the calendar for this year because we don't know when we'll be able to get everybody together.
Sure.
But as those trainings become available and get scheduled, they'll be there as well as then in the events calendar. The other thing is that we will send out to the existing certified Tier 1 instructors information about and sort of surveys just to find out how many people are ready for a Tier 2 and so forth. So you should be getting one of those sometime once we're able to start scheduling things again sometime this year.
Great. Namaste. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna Ray.
Next up, we have Emmanuel. Emmanuel, there you go. Emmanuel's on its way. Here's way. Okay, I believe you can unmute yourself and start your video. I unmuted you. There you go. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Lee. How's it going?
Hey, good. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just reviewing my notes, and I'm not sure if I heard this correctly from last session of swimming dragon. I'm not sure if that's a thing.
That is a thing. Absolutely. It's important to take your dragon for a swim quite frequently.
Cool. How do we do this?
Well, gosh, I just feel like a smart aleck answer coming up, but the way you do it, we have swimming dragon workshops. So for example, I did a whole swimming dragon workshop. It was called Qi Gong for spring. I also teach swimming dragon a lot in the subscription. Almost every class I'll do some form of swimming dragon. Like yesterday I did powerful dragon. The swimming dragon is a style of Qigong with a lot of movements in it. I learned this from a woman who was 106 years old in China. And so it's an exercise for health and longevity. It's very dynamic form of Qigong. So there's elements of yoga. It's kind of a powerful stretch and strengthen that goes more along the lines of the wood element, which has to do with resiliency, strengthening your body and creating flexibility. Comes from a Qigong set that has more martial background to develop that strength and power in your body. But I will teach it in the subscription often. If you want a workshop that really focuses in on swimming dragon, I would just say do this Qigong for spring workshop that's on the website. And I'm not sure. I'm thinking that we do have a swimming dragon workshop specifically. I'm not sure if it was spring or that specific title.
We don't yet, but we're planning on going deeper.
That's right.
Set of practices.
We'll do that. So for now, Qigong for spring and the subscription, you'll get a lot of swimming dragon exercises for health and longevity. And, you know, I always say when a teacher that's 106 years old is still teaching and moving like a cat, you tend to believe her that it's for health and longevity.
Awesome. Thank you, Lee. It was great to join you for tea.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers.
Bye, man. Thomas Leamy. He's back again this week too. And here he comes. Thomas just unmuted you. There you go.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Again.
Great. Turning on video. Can you see me okay?
Oh, no wonder he has such a great radio voice. Look at that setup.
Yes. My whole business has moved online, so I said I would invest in a podcast mic.
Well done.
Anyway, a pleasure to be here, and it was a pleasure to be here last time as well, Lee. I asked a question last time that I've been implementing every day since we spoke last, which was to include pulling down the heavens with the intention with drinking your tea, and it's working excellent. So thanks so much for that great advice.
That's awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah. So here's my question this time. It's something I've been struggling, maybe subconsciously, but for quite some time. I have quite a nice morning routine. I like it. I stick to it. But I continuously change between firstly doing Qigong and then meditation, and then other days engaging meditation first and then Qigong. And I haven't quite figured out which is more effective or impactful. So that is my question. From an energy point of view, what do you think is best to do first?
That is a great question. Let's see. It depends. So my answer is going to be, it depends on the day that you're having. So both of those can be really impactful and great. And it depends on the intention of the day and the intention of the energy. So when you do Qigong first, it often is helpful in that you are clearing stress, getting energy to circulate, calming the mind before you go into meditation. So then when you go into meditation, you're already there. Sometimes if we just sit and meditate, the mind is a little too active or we're a little too sleepy and we don't get a real focused meditation practice. So I often like doing a stage where you're doing your Qigong practice and then meditating just for those reasons. But you can sit and kind of ease your way into the Qigong practice by doing a meditation, setting my intention for my practice and my day, and then doing some breathing and clearing the mind. And then when you do your Qigong practice, you're already in that mental state of doing practice. So both work really well. I would say if you want to have a day where you're really mentally focused, you might end the practice, end your Qigong practice with meditation. And if you want to have a day where you're more active, you might meditate first, then go into your Qigong practice. And then your energy is in a little bit more yang state, you go right into your day.
All right. I think that's brilliant advice. So base it on the activity to follow in the rest of the day. All right. Thanks so much, Lee.
Thanks, Thomas.
Take care. Bye.
With your wonderful radio voice.
Yeah, nice. Thomas.
Cheers. Yeah, bye now.
All right, next up we have Rick Holmes. Here we go. Hi, Rick. We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi. I just want to say thank you for all your classes. They're fantastic. I've really enjoyed doing some of the videos. It's brilliant. I've been struggling to. What I was going to ask about was basically at the moment I've got a lot of time to do Qigong because I'm at home. But in my regular life, I'm it's quite a lot of work I'm doing, and I was just wondering, is it really important to keep a regular practice in the morning and the evening? Does that help a lot? And how should you mix it up? I enjoy doing the acupressure. I enjoy doing the Qigong, but what is the best way to kind of order that? Is that, sorry, maybe I'm not explaining myself well enough. But
I got you. I understand. It's a common question. It's a little bit like how to structure our practice. And like Thomas's question, how do we create the day that we want to have, or how do we unwind at the end of the day to have the night that we want to have? So again, we come back to this concept of yin and yang. If we simplify it and come back to our principles, what kind of energy do we want? What kind of energy do we need in our lives at a particular time? Do I need more yang energy, more yin energy? Do I need less stress? Do I need more energy? It's always that fine balance. So when you're designing your practice, you can think about what it is that you need. How much time in your life do you have to allocate? And this is an interesting question because the more time you invest in your Qigong practice, in yourself, the more efficient and the more productive you are. So I encourage people to do more, lean on the side of doing more practice for efficiency, productivity, creativity, because you're a better version of yourself when you are energized. When you have less stress, you bring better energy into all the work that you do. So those are kind of the things to think about. And we want to be able to design the life that we want to lead. And your practice should help you to design your life that you want to lead, both in terms of how am I feeling in my life and what is the energy going on around me in my life. So you are becoming skillful at designing your life force energy. So your practice should be skillful. Now in the beginning, we don't know quite what to do. So that's why we have programs like the subscription or a particular routine. And I like to help you to get into a practice, to create the habit of being in a practice. So I would say, if you can, in the morning, do a practice that sets you up for the day. And you can design it to be a 7-minute practice, a 20-minute practice, an hour practice, but do something. I would say, if you can, lean on doing the 20-minute to 40 minutes of practice in the morning. It just makes everything go so much smoother. And you can experiment a little bit with yourself. See how your day goes when you do practice in the morning or when you don't do practice. And then in the evening, you can do something similar. Some people in the evening, they like to unwind, relax, watch TV, read a book. Do another little practice, even if it's just lying in bed, doing your breathing or some healing sounds to clear the energy of the day. And those are some helpful guidelines to work with the principles of your practice. Then you can think about what is it that I'm working on? I might be working on low back pain or high blood pressure. We all have things that we're working on in our own mind-body systems. So we have lots of different routines that address those problems. So I would say 2 or 3 times a week, do something that's really specific to you. And then other times cross-train and do things that are more general, that'll enhance your full body and address your whole body mind system as an integrative energy system. So I'm going to answer it in more of a general principle oriented terms, and then specifically, and then I'll let you, Rick, figure out what programs that you want to put in place in your life, but try to do something each and every morning just to start the day with the right energy alignment. Today we did a little bit with tea and a deep breath, and then you know, even something as simple as that can be extremely helpful for lining ourselves up.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks for all your great work. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. And maybe, Ben, we can today end with a little practice and with some intention setting on, you know, at this particular time, sending out some positive energy for people that are struggling with the virus, with family members that might have the virus, with, you know, the feeling of loneliness and being in isolation. And maybe we can do just a little ending meditation together.
Yeah, I think that's a terrific idea. Rick, one thing I'll also mention is, and Tracy, a couple other people are asking questions about 10-minute routines. We actually have a 30-day challenge of 7-minute routines. And 7 minutes is kind of a magic number where you really shift your nervous system in that shortened amount of time. So if you get back to your normal life and you're super busy in the morning, if you can squeeze in the 7 minutes at the very least, that'll pay huge dividends. And then maybe do later in the day, do your longer routines. But just that touch point and tuning into the body and releasing into the relaxation mode of the nervous system as a way to start the day is very powerful. So I think we just a couple more. Do you have time for a couple more, Lee?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Then I'm going to bring Dror Sinai up. And he is coming in. Great. Hi, Dror, we can hear you.
Oh, great.
And now we can see you.
Oh, I hope I look good because I can't see myself, but thank you for having me.
Glowing with Qi.
The tea right here.
Oh, good.
Tequila. No.
No. a different kind of tea.
Yeah. Thank you, Lee, for having me here. Thank you for everything. Since I came one class to do with you, and I never left. And lately, it's been amazing to have the experience and the challenge of becoming a teacher. So you are a fixture in my house. Sometimes I go to sleep with you. Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
I have so many questions, but I'll do it really short as much as I can.
Okay.
As I'm practicing, I'm at the end of the teaching, and I was shy about asking the questions. It's like, oh, I should know that. But every time I ask, it seems that others did not know it. I enjoyed so I'll ask 2 or 3 questions if it's okay. When I start, I often start with the breathing. And I realized that when I start with the breathing, sometimes I exhale from the mouth, and sometimes I just keep it nose, from the nose in and out in the very beginning of the practice. Do you have something to say about this way or another?
Mouth and nose breathing, it again depends on what kind of energy you want to cultivate. So when you are inhaling and exhaling through your nose, you are tonifying your energy and making it stronger. So that's the kind of breathing to do when you're doing flowing movements. When you exhale out through the mouth, you're purging, you're clearing energy out. So for example, when we do healing sounds and you're trying to get rid of some kind of stressful energy within your body. So exhaling through the mouth will release tension or tightness. So it can be done during stretching. When you're like stretching and you're releasing tension or tightness. Well, when you're flowing or when you're meditating, your often intention is to bring energy in and to contain and hold the energy. That's when you want to inhale, exhale through the nose.
Right. And in the beginning of the practice, you would suggest to purge.
You can do more exhaling through the mouth, correct?
More, okay. So I understand. I ask Timo, I'm finding that I'm not aware of the standing position for Lady Works the Shuttle and the second 5 element.
Yeah.
And, the other one is Pebble on the Beach, a single hand. Will you show me the standing position?
The standing Fair Lady Works the Shuttle.
Right.
So you end up like this.
Right.
And then you're going to turn like that.
Right.
And switch. And turn like that.
And this is the movement.
Yeah.
Right? And what is the standing position?
Exhale. Oh, and then the standing position is just like that.
Thank you. I remember now. Thank you. And the other one for a one-handed pebble in the pond?
And then the standing position is like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah, please.
It's something I'm challenged with from the beginning, is the concept of metal. The way I agreed with myself, I said, okay, only the name is metal and everything else has to do with air. I accepted it.
Yeah.
Now that I've been teaching, I'm challenged with passing it on. Will you help me with that?
Yeah, that is the challenge of Chinese medicine for a lot of people. The metal element, the air element really has to do with the qi, because the qi is invisible. So it is the air. And now as qi becomes manifest, it takes form and shape on the earth as 5 substances. So qi goes from, let's say, like vapor to water to ice. It becomes more condensed into form. And so 5 elements is the physical manifestation of qi in form. So if we look at the earth, you have these 5 forms of elements. You have water, wood, earth, fire, and then metal, right? So the air element isn't there because it's qi. This is my thinking about the subject. So metal becomes, in Chinese medicine, the element that corresponds to the lungs as it manifests. So the air element is the qi overall. It's the invisible life force energy. And then 5 element, it's going to manifest in the lungs. And that's just the way Chinese medicine is. Chinese medicine is both a science and an art. So it doesn't always make sense in our logical left brain because it has so much artistic qualities to it as well, like life does. Like lots of things in life don't have specific answers and are beyond our intellectual comprehension. Chinese medicine works that way.
I thank you very much. I really enjoy it. I appreciate all you do. I've been sharing all the offerings that you give, and there's so many people around the world that are happy. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Jor.
Yeah.
That's so sweet, Jor. Nice to see you.
I'll send you a private.
Oops. Sorry. My bad.
I caught it.
Yeah. Okay. Beth is back. She figured out her situation and found her phone somewhere down in wherever it had rolled down to and bounced around. And she said she's back and available again. However, not 100% sure because she's not responding right now. So We're going to move on. Francis Veiling, we're going to give you a shot because I think you were unavailable earlier. This time it's working. And so Francis is coming back in. And
Here we are.
hi, Francis.
That's my wife. That's her computer. I'm her husband, Michael. Yeah.
You have a deep voice.
Great.
Easy questions for you. But when you do an exercise, I notice often several of the routines are done multiple times and others are only done 2 or 3 times. And some are done at different speeds. Does the speed of doing different movements or the number of times that they're done affect their level of chi or response, or is it just how you feel at a certain point?
Yeah, absolutely. Speed is often will be, if you're doing it faster, it's going to be dissipating and purging. If you do it slowly, it's going to be tonifying and bring energy in. So when we are doing exercises, you'll see in the beginning of class, they're done faster, like the pump or clearing, where we're swinging the arms and we're doing things quicker as a way to cleanse our energy system. And then towards the end of class, we're doing things slowly because we're now clear. We slow everything down and we pull the energy in. So if we think about what happens in life, often we're taking in life stress, worries, and concerns. So in Qigong practice, that's what you want to get rid of. And when you slow down, you want to then tonify the energy and the quality that you want. So you slow down, tune into positive energy, and you bring it into your system.
So the quicker ones are to dissipate.
And clear, yeah, exactly. So in general, you're going to do movements faster in the beginning and slower towards the end.
The same movement, you mean? It's
different movements.
Different movements.
Different movements. So in the beginning of class, they'll be quicker, and then the end of class are going to be slower, but there'll be different movements. Then the same movement, if you do the same movement, sometimes, for example, like cloudy hands, when I've taught it quickly, it's to dissipate the energy, and then we all of a sudden will start to slow it down, now pull energy in. And that's a great exercise, let's say, for anxiety. So you're doing it fast, and you're making the heart sound, cleanse and clear, and then you start to slow it down, and you transform anxiety into a sense of relaxation and joy. So these are just skillful tools of moving the energy in your body into a state of balanced or optimization where you feel healthy, you feel good, you feel enlivened, and those kinds of things. That's why you vary the speed.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, thank you.
You describe what heat or cold is when it's talked about with terms of energy and Chinese medicine.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about balance. So when you have excess heat, this is things like a fever or inflammation. So then if somebody has excess heat, we want to cool them down. If somebody has excess cold, that might manifest as joint pain, as shivering, things like that, or as the lack of ability to get warm or poor circulation. This is excess cold, so we want to warm them up to create homeostasis and balance. How do we warm somebody up with excess cold? We might give them herbs, something like ginger, that would warm you up, or a movement, something like igniting inner fire. That's going to be improving your heat in your body. So we might specifically look at your energy system and say, oh, there's too much cold in the system. If you don't deal with that energetic imbalance, it's going to manifest at some point as some kind of physical illness or ailment. This in Chinese medicine is called looking at the root cause of a disease so that you clear the energetic problem before it manifests physically.
Really anxious to know more about those, clearing those, like cold.
Yeah, that's great. Tune into the 5-element program because we go into that in more detail, because this is Chinese medicine, and to really learn about it, it takes some education.
Carry on, Lee. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. So Lee, you'd mentioned wanting to do a little bit of an intention setting and send out positive energy as a group. I think
let's do that at the end our session. We started off with Qi at the heart center. Now let's just bring Qi to the heart center. We talked about the heart energy and gratitude. So we will bring our hands in prayer position here to the heart center. There also is a super moon tonight, full moon. So this is nature adding additional energy into our practice. So when when nature's energy is strong, like full moons, or tonight there's a super moon, we can add that extra energy into our practice. And we can add the extra energy of us all getting together into our practice and create that entrainment. So with hands to the heart, we talked about the inner smile. Just imagine that you're facing a sunset where the sky is pink and golden and alive with many colors. And you want to feel this smiling energy between your eyes and just around the corners of the mouth. And take some slow breaths in and out through the nose. And you turn your smiling energy inward to yourself. And this is a cultivation of self-appreciation, self-compassion. And that smiling energy, as it comes into your heart and your heart center, let it start to brighten up in that space. Like your heart center is reflecting the sky all around you. It's warm, it's radiant, it's alive with the colors of the sky. And then just slowly let the palms of the hands come apart. And you're now facing your palms away from you with the first finger and the thumb touching. And you just send that smiling energy, that golden light from the horizon that you've cultivated out into the world. And with your intention, you can put it on a specific person, a specific group of people, a specific circumstance. And you send that positive healing energy from your heart center out into the world to those in need, to elevate their energy. And the intention is to send healing energy so that we may grow and learn through challenges, so that we come to a place of more elevated, connected space where we treat each other with kindness and compassion, where we feel more integrated and connected to the earth. And we sense the energy of community, both in our humanity, nature, and the world around us. And we can just take a deep breath and smile into that and add and contribute our positive intentions into the energy field out into the world. And then bring your hands back to your heart and just feel a sense of receptivity that you can receive and tune into and take in the energy that you need in your life at this particular time. And feel the group supporting you to be your best self, supporting you to lead your best life. And take one more deep breath. Wonderful. So that was a wonderful way to end our beautiful question and answer session. Thanks so much, everybody, for getting together, taking the time to be with us, and creating this group energy field. I'm sure there'll be more of our tea and chi sessions to come.
Yep, that's right. Thank you so much, everyone. It was really delightful being with you all again, and I really am always amazed when we do those group intention settings and we do those group meditations, how I can feel these people all around the world. It really is quite powerful, as opposed to when I'm just sitting here alone with my candles and my tea, which is also delightful.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's all of us here.
Yay.
Bye. Charlie just stares out the window into the at the ocean as his meditation, warming himself in the sun.
Bye, everybody.
Advanced practitioner of the group.
Bye, Charlie. Thanks for teaching us, Charlie.
Thanks all.
Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the next one.
Keep the chi flowing.